So I got this in the mail a couple of days ago. This is a sample ballot, and I don't know how they do it in other states, but in the state of Florida, the Office of the Supervisor of Elections sends out sample ballots to registered voters, and it has on there everything that's to be voted on. Of course, the candidates, judges, and also constitutional amendments. Now, a constitution is just that, it's the charter of that government. The constitution of the government is the charter. It outlines, what the role of that government is supposed to be. And it's not something that you take lightly. You only change it when, that you have to modify what the purpose of the government is, basically. So, and on the federal level, there are constitutional amendments. For example, they had one, I think the 18th Amendment was prohibition, which is in itself is retarded. Really, it's a legislative function. It's actually meant to be on the state level, by the way. You could argue that the 18th Amendment violated the 10th Amendment, but I guess that was their way of getting around it. And then the 21st Amendment, which was ending prohibition. There was, an amendment, that included women's suffrage. There was an amendment, had to do with procedures with, relieving a president under medical pretenses. So anyway, in the state of Florida, we have these, referendums to amend certain sections of the Constitution. So one is over the personal use of marijuana. Another one is hunting and fishing amendment. That's to say that hunting and fishing as a means of controlling the population of wildlife. Okay. Another one over abortion. Another one over, and the abortion one is more specifically, it's in order to basically guarantee abortion. So if you vote no, then that means that you don't put that in the Constitution, right? Another one having to do with salary of the Brevard County commissioners, things like that. Those are legislative functions. What this is this is an attempt, actually at a couple of things. This is an attempt to bypass the legislature by direct democracy, essentially. And the purpose of the legislature is that it's representative, but these are people that have a background in law and history, hopefully, ideally, hopefully. Of course, you get idiots like AOC, for example, but these are usually people who are educated, at least are very well aware of history, of the consequences of, implementing certain policies, etc. And you have it in a chamber of such people where they debate on these issues. They're setting policy. They are making laws. Okay, so an example of supposedly this Third Amendment about legalizing, personal use of marijuana. Well, there's no other restriction about it. So, if you're, say, in a school zone, you can't drink alcohol publicly, for example. Well, there are certain reasons for that. But they're saying that you could possess marijuana in a school zone. And that's just one example. I mean, there's other examples. So this is bypassing the legislature. Now, on specific issues, I'm not against people using marijuana, provided that they're held accountable for their actions, just like alcohol, right? And then there's other uses for it. People make the argument, hemp oil, for example, or hemp as an industrial product. Sure, absolutely. In fact, I would argue that the government does not have the proper authority to regulate such a thing, right? If people are using something that doesn't violate the rights of somebody else, sure, absolutely, I can make that argument. But to bypass the legislature, this is an example of the erosion of the republic, right? People, it's kind of like Caesar crossing the Rubicon, where his troops were more loyal to Caesar than they were to the republic. And I'm up here like Cato, trying to, say, hey, this is what's going on. It's a republic for a reason. So anyway, that's my rant about this.